All right, what is going on, everybody? Nitro Freak here, back with another stream with this guy, Philly.500. Title of the live stream: Do the Philadelphia Eagles lack passion? It's honestly a big question that really hasn't been addressed. Every single game, you're looking at this team. You see the talent's there. You see the talent on defenses. Pass rush has been missing. But the big question is the passion there? Do these players actually want to win, or are they still stuck on that one Super Bowl from 2 seasons ago? It's a big thing we have to ask. So, Philly.500, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Nitro Freak?
I'm doing all right.
You hanging in there? I'm
just
good,
hanging.
man. Now, that's a very interesting question, I will say. And I don't think it's just like cut and dry. I think that there are some players that have played with a lot of passion. I think there's some that have not at all. And I think over the last few weeks, I think for the most part they have.
Okay. All right. Well, I was looking at the Chicago Bears game. We were up 19-0 at one point. I feel like in the third quarter. I was actually at the game. I wasn't drinking at all. I cut my drinking down because, like I told you before the live stream, I have to drop my weight. It just seemed like the team just let off the gas pedal and they just stopped trying. That one breadbasket catch by Alshon Jeffrey that was dropped. It's just like it's common mistakes like this team does week in and week out. Aguilar dropping passes, game-winning passes, Alshon Jeffrey dropping passes, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside dropping that one pass against the Detroit Lions. And he hasn't even seen the football field ever since then. So I don't know if this team has what it takes to make a deep run this year regarding the talent or not. I don't think it's the same team where the band of brothers – that aspect, I think, has gone away from this Philadelphia Eagles team, and I don't think it's going to come back.
I mean, it's hard to say. I think that if you look at what like Howie has done with the trade deadline, not bringing certain guys in, and all those things, I think the writing is on the wall that at the end of this year, they are going to probably, I wouldn't say clean house, but they are going to probably retool, revamp this roster. I think they're going to get a lot younger, and I think that's why you didn't see any moves, because I think they're figuring we're going to let this thing play out, because there has to be turnover. I do think some guys, are living off the Super Bowl. I do think some guys don't try every week. I mean, there's been times where, I've been yelling during my live stream, especially that Vikings game, where I thought there was only 2 or 3 guys actually acting like they cared. Yeah. So I do think change is coming, but I think for the remainder of the year, I mean, I'd like to see them at least win a division, get to the playoffs, maybe win a round, and then go into a situation where anything can happen. But it's a good question. I really think these next 2 weeks will show us a lot. It's going to show us a lot.
No, I agree 100%. Now, I do want to address something right here, right now, because about an hour ago, Des Bryant put up a video of him doing route running. Now, I must admit, he looked like a fat pig during the whole highlight video. All right.
Okay.
Now, is Des Bryant someone that I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. I'm brutally honest.
Right.
He looks like a tight end. He looks like a tight end who hasn't worked out in 5 years. Let's be real. Right. Is he someone that you would keep an eye on and bring in if necessary if he were to drop the weight and turn into an actual wide receiver again? Or is he someone that you would just pass up on? Because we passed up on Antonio Brown, even though he's looking for work. I don't know what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing. I don't know what Howie Roseman's doing. But is he someone that you take into consideration if the offer presented itself?
I at this point with the trash we have, in my opinion, at wide receiver besides Alshon, who's hurt, I would work him out. But I mean, after the Scandrick thing, dude, I'm kind of like done with Cowboys coming in. They always seem like they screw everything up and cause problems. But I mean, I'm willing to give them a workout. I do think they have to address. I think they need another player. I still think they need another wide receiver. So I don't know what they're doing, but I would consider it. At this point, I'd consider anybody.
Well, the thing about Scandrick is, and you just brought up a subject, Scandrick was actually one of our better secondary weapons. He played a great game against the Jets, kind of disappeared against the Vikings, and definitely disappeared against the Cowboys. But he hasn't played bad for the time he was here, And saying that Scandrick caused a lot of problems, I don't think he caused a lot of problems. I just thought he brought up a lot of things that needed to be mentioned. And when he went on Fox Sports, he brought up a lot of things that happened to be true, in my opinion. So I don't know. I respect Orlando Scandrick coming in here and giving it his all, especially against the New York Jets and Luke Falk, who absolutely blows. But at the same time, he is a Dallas Cowboy, like you said, and I don't know. Maybe he was.
I mean,
team.
The thing with Scandrick is that he went on TV and look, at least he put his face to it. I'll give him credit for that. Mm-hmm. But it caused a lot of drama. It caused a lot of headache. It caused a lot of problems. And maybe it's the thing that turns the season around in the end. I don't know. But, you think of him and you think of all the other Cowboys that have come in. It just never seems like it ends good or goes well. So I'm a little reluctant to bring in Des Bryant, but I'm at this point when I look at what I have, it's so bad that I'm willing to take a chance and probably do it.
Now that's something else I wanted to ask you. Does the signing of Jordan Matthews make you more positive when it comes on the outlook of the offense of the Philadelphia Eagles?
Not really.
Nope.
I think he's better than I think he can't hurt, right? I think he's going to help in certain areas, but to me, it depends how you use him. I know a lot of people are saying, well, he's got good speed, and they're talking about he's deceptively fast. But I've seen enough of Jordan Matthews to know that he cannot play on the outside. He's not an outside wide receiver. If they moved him to the slot, then he can be pretty effective. I think it could be a pretty good upgrade. But then what are you going to do? Put Nelson Aguilar on the outside, which he's horrible. So to me, I think it's I think it helps. It can't hurt. He's better than Matt Collins. But I don't think it changes anything. I think we're going to still have the same exact problems.
Well, I heard someone on Twitter saying that they wouldn't get rid of Matt Collins completely because he's such a special team stud. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Listen, I do not like Matt Collins. Matt Collins had one great play as a Philadelphia Eagle, and that was that stupid backpack dance on Monday Night Football. And then he was forgotten about.
Right.
And they keep putting him on the football field when he says he would rather play special teams. Mm-hmm. They keep putting him on the football field. Now we have Jordan Matthews, who I've always thought was overrated. The first time we drafted him from Vanderbilt, I never liked the guy. I thought he was okay. He had that one touchdown against Dallas in overtime. Sammy Sleeves delivered a perfect dime to him, and he did the rest of the work. But he was never that fast, and his hands were always made of like butter and stone combined. So I mean, it's just. I don't get this signing. I understand that Carson Wentz has a good relationship with Jordan Matthews, but at the same time, I just felt like there were better options out there, like J.J. Nelson and AB.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I like Jordan Matthews. I think he's a decent player. I think he could come in and he's going to help us. I wasn't that upset with it, but my feeling was that this has got to be one of two moves at wide receiver. This just can't be the only one. Right. I understand why they're bringing him in. He knows the system. He gets along with Carson. They have chemistry. I get it, and I'm okay with all of that. But what worries me more than anything is, do the Eagles recognize going forward that they have to change the type of wide receivers they keep bringing in? Right. They have to change the style. Big physical wide receivers. I know that people have told me that he ran like a 4.43 or something at the combine, Jordan Matthews. But when you have your pads on, you have your helmet on, he's not a fast guy. He's not going to threaten the defense. He'll break one every now and then. He'll get open. He's I think he's a pretty good football player, but he's not going to create the constant threat, which is what you need. And I worry about the Eagles going into next offseason. You had a chance to draft DK Metcalf, a guy with speed and size, and you took Arcega-Whiteside, who is, from all accounts, the reason he doesn't play is he doesn't get separation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just worry that they're going to just continue to bring in big, physical, slow receivers. I want them to change the whole philosophy on that.
Now, the one thing I will say that I'm about to touch on, Jordan Matthews, bringing him in and making him somewhat the guy because we have nobody else, could take the burden and some of the burden off of Nelson Aguilar's shoulders. And Nelson Aguilar always likes to be that third or fourth guy. He never likes to be the guy. So Nelson Aguilar, I know you don't like him. I understand why you don't like him. But Nelson Aguilar has always been that one wide receiver that likes to fall in the shadow of someone else. And he plays better when he's in that position. So maybe, just maybe, if Jordan Matthews gets more targets, that leaves Nelson Aguilar wide open. He gets the ball and delivers. You never know. So that's one thing that you just never know about.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I do think that Aguilar needs to be about the fourth option, and then maybe he'll do all right. I look, I don't, I'm not, I don't want to trash or anybody think I'm trashing Jordan Matthews. I like Jordan Matthews. I'm okay with it, but I don't think it changes things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. He, like I just said, he has hands of butter, but at the same time, listen, I can't trash a Philadelphia Eagle. You know, people like to trash Carson Wentz. I don't trash Carson Wentz. I just tell it how it is. People like to trash Nelson Aguilar. I don't trash Nelson Aguilar. I just tell it how it is. All right. I see you smiling. I see you smiling.
This guy
Listen,
guilty is charged.
I just like to tell it how it is. Just like if we were to switch the subject, Ben Simmons. I never liked Ben Simmons. All right, but he's a Philadelphia 76er, so I have to support him in a way. All right, it's the same exact thing. My teams, I'm always going to support the players no matter what, even if I don't necessarily like them. So,
yeah, no, I get it. No, I get it. I mean, look, to me, Matt Collins is so bad that Jordan Matthews has to be an upgrade. He just has to by default. You know, I think Jordan Matthews can help. You know, I really would like to play him in the slot. Like if they went out, let's say, well, of course they're not going to get Antonio Brown, but let's say they got J.J. Nelson or somebody with some speed this week also, and then you kind of could rotate Aguilar and Jordan Matthews in the slot. That to me would be a huge upgrade for them. And then you have a guy, you know, a deep threat on the outside. I think that would be huge. But I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with Jordan Matthews coming, but I just want more.
But what are the Philadelphia Eagles failing to do right now? Maybe you know the answer to this, but it's a big one. Well, if you were to guess, what are they failing to do? What has been our problem on offense since Deshaun Jackson went down?
Well, I think the main problem is that you don't have you also at the same time Deshaun went down. I believe that Alshon Jeffrey is 50%. I don't believe he's good right now. I think he's hurt. So I think he's playing and he's toughing it out, but it's a calf, right? So he doesn't like even looking at him run slants and stuff. So he's hurt, and then they're taking their best corners and they're putting it on Ertz, or they're doubling our tight ends and they're saying beat us on the outside. And nobody can do it, and that's the problem. And then when they've had chances, guys have just failed miserably. They haven't come up. The week 2 drop for Nelson Aguilar, the Arcega-Whiteside. I mean, I just don't think that defenses respect the Eagles' offense in terms of the vertical game. So everything is uptight. Everybody cheats up, plays up at the line of scrimmage. That's why you see guys catch balls, and they get tackled right away. That's also why you see sometimes Carson look like he overthrow it out. But if you really look at the window, it's so small because basically they're always covered. Nobody's ever open. They can't get open.
Yeah, but the problem I have with what you're just saying is you're saying no one can ever get open, but you want to know why that is? Because we abandoned the run game time after time. We are running down these teams' throats, literally running down their throats, and we go away from it and we put the ball in Carson Wentz's hands when nothing is working on the offensive side when it comes to our wide receivers.
Well,
and that's a big problem when it comes to this coaching staff. And I've said it time and time again. Mike Rowe is the problem on this offense. Now, my buddy Zomp, shout out to Zomp. He doesn't like Doug Peterson. He thinks Doug Peterson's a moron. He thinks that Frank Reich was the mastermind behind that Super Bowl, and he could be right. I don't know. I will never bash Doug Peterson because he brought a Super Bowl to the city of Philadelphia. He could be right, though, because it is the head coach's job to make sure whatever's working, they don't shy away from. And they've been doing it a lot this season. And they need to stay consistent. If the running game's working, don't shy away from it. Keep pounding the ball.
Right. Well, I mean, listen. At times, you have to change things up to stay honest. You can't become one dimensional. So you could run the ball most of the time, but you still have to take your shots. And the thing is with the Eagles is let's say they have a 2nd and 1. Right. I think it was 2nd and inches last week. Carson's under center. I am screaming, this is play action fake. You throw the ball downfield. This is when you roll Carson out or you do it because it's 2nd and inches. But what do? They run the ball. The Bears stop them because they clogged up the middle because they were expecting it. And there is a lack of, creativity on this offense. And the one time you saw it in Buffalo game 2 weeks ago, where they lined both tight ends, they had 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. It went for a touchdown because Buffalo hadn't seen it. I'm telling you, dude, during my live streams, there are plays where I'm like, this is a screen to Alshon. This is this. You can see it just by the formation they're lining up. And if I can see it and you can see it, then you know the defensive coordinators. So I do have a problem with Mike Groh. And also the offensive coordinator sets pretty much the 15 plays, the scripted plays. Well, we always struggle early.
What if I said the last 5 streams with, I think we were on 5 streams by now, with me, you, and Darius. I said that Mike Groh doesn't necessarily work well with Carson Wentz. He worked well with Foles. All right, we saw it. He doesn't work well with certain players, and I do not think he'll ever work well with Carson Wentz. You need to bring in someone else that has a mind to work with every single quarterback in the NFL. And what he said in the offseason about Golden Tate just baffles me why he's still here. He said he couldn't get Golden Tate to work in his system. That's literally what he said. That means you're not good enough. You're not good enough.
And I was watching a Giants game. And he caught it was his first game back, and he caught like a 30-yard pass. Yeah. And they said that the Eagles threw to him over 25 yards one time.
Yeah.
The whole time he was there. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a Groh fan. I'm not a big Groh fan. And if you want to say he can't handle or can't work with Carson Wentz, I mean, fine. Maybe. But I just don't. Even when Foles was there with him, I think a lot of things changed because if I remember correctly at the end of the year, I think Doug Peterson took more of a role in that offense late in the year, calling plays and things like that. And I think there were more hands-on, and it started to look different. But I'm not a big Groh guy.
No, I'm not at all. I mean, I hate to bring up this example again, but look at Tom Brady in Foxborough. He has lacrosse players coming into the system, and he turns them into a fucking Hall of Famer. You know, so I mean, I don't like all these comments in the comment section saying Wentz only had one proper wide receiver. Wentz is an elite quarterback to some of you guys, all right? And I hate to switch the subject because a lot of this Wentz bias, but Wentz is an elite quarterback to some of you guys. He needs to work with what he has. He needs to make good with what he has. And the problem is that, yes, sometimes he puts the ball right in the receiver's hands and they drop it. That's not
a lot of times.
All right, that's not his fault. But he also has tunnel vision at times in the games where he targets a specific player and one that's not open. And that's what I've been saying week after week after week. He needs to create field vision. He has a lot of tunnel vision, and that's
nobody's open. See, you're saying that Tom Brady and makes these guys better. I'm going to say to you, I think that Carson is making Mac Hollins better and Aguilar better right now. That's just as good as they are.
Well, Mac Hollins, but Mac Hollins on Monday Night Football 2 years ago ran for that touchdown.
He ran a vertical route. I haven't seen them run him one vertical route.
No,
the only guy that ever runs a vertical route is Nelson Aguilar, and he can't run it. Yeah, but they keep running it to him. I don't know. I mean, the way I look at Carson, I do think he's elite, and I think he's done everything he freaking can do with the trash he has around him. I do. I mean, dude, there's games where the only reason we've been in it is because he's kept us in it.
Right.
And you want to talk about pressure? 2 weeks in a row, you have fourth quarter where he goes on 7-8 minute drives and basically ran the clock out. That was big time for a guy with no Alshon in the game, no Deshaun in the game. I thought he deserved some credit for that.
Right. Well, I would say, like, going back to the Atlanta game, he did start really slow. And, that was one of the games where we still could have won. The Atlanta Falcons stink. And that loss right there could bite us right in the ass. And I don't know. It's just like, I like Carson Wentz. I really want to love Carson Wentz. I will love Carson Wentz down the road. I think he's a really good talent. The coaches and the GM need to help put more talent out there for him. I understand that. But he's got to work better with what he has. And if he realizes that players aren't getting open, he needs to run around a little bit more. He needs to create bootlegs, play action, whatever you got to do. Change up the play at the line. That's what elite quarterbacks do. Maybe he's a big dummy. I don't know. But you need to call the right play at the line if you think that nothing's working. And that's what I expect our elite quarterback to do. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just being a realist. You have to take over the game yourself.
like last week, I just don't know what he could do. Like I mean,
Well,
he can pocket and run sometimes.
The Chicago Bears defense is really good. All right, granted.
Right.
All right, they've been good for the last 3 years. They're exceptional. And I was watching my friend Danny. He was sitting right next to me because I go to every game with him, and I was like, nobody's getting open because the Chicago Bears defense is so good. They're locking down. It's just their offense sucked. So it looked like we were killing them. So yeah, I agree with you on that aspect. But I'm looking at games like the Atlanta game. I'm looking at games like the Green Bay game. I'm looking at games like the Detroit Lions game. Detroit's not that good.
Well, but in the Lions, I mean, dude, we had 8 drops.
Yeah.
8 drops. And just think of this. Let's just say, let's go back to week 2. Let's say Nelson Aguilar holds on to that ball.
Right.
It's a touchdown. The whole narrative around Carson changes. Let's say then the week after, he does it again with Arcega-Whiteside. Now it's really changing, right? But those 2 drops have soured many people because of those 2 drops. If you get those 2 drops, if they're catches, we're not having this conversation about Carson Wentz. I really believe that.
We have a good comment in the comment section. Natasha Leach says, I think Doug wants Carson to stay in the pocket more. He's not a pocket passer. This is what people don't understand. I don't care if you want him to stay in the pocket. He's not a pure pocket passer. We drafted him out of a DAA school, number 2 overall. We went up from number 8 to number 2 to get him for how he plays the game of football. And that's by using his legs when he has to. He's not a pure pocket passer. And you can see it in his game. It makes him limited and it makes him not as good. He has 15 touchdowns and 4 interceptions this year. He could have a lot more touchdowns if he rolls out 5 times a game, but he rolls out 2 times a game. So he's limiting his game a lot. And he cannot be doing that. He needs to go back to what made him what he was in 2017. And that's just how it is. I don't care if anyone hates what I'm saying. That's the truth. That's how he plays the game.
I would like to see him roll out more. I definitely would. But I mean, I think that he is handcuffed by the trash he had. I mean, dude, even look at last week's game with Deshaun Jackson, just that one series. Look at all the space in the middle. Just because you added him into the lineup. Look, I can tell you, I think Carson, I think he's an elite player. I love Carson. I think he's
you're the leader of the Wentz. I know.
I think he's having a great year, despite everything. But I can say there are a few things where he could work on. I mean, I think that he could sometimes get a little better with that back shoulder throw, although he did try to throw it to Alshon, he dropped it. But also, I think at the line of scrimmage, he's got to be a little bit better reading the pre-snap reads. And that's something that comes with experience, too. But overall, I don't think we would have won anything without this guy. Like, the Atlanta game, he played bad, but look at the second half he had. That dude was beasting out, dude.
All right.
You
might call me crazy here, and you might laugh at this, but in that Atlanta game, when Carson Wentz went to the tent, I felt that Josh McCown ran the offense better. But
it was 3 plays at the end of the half, and they were in a prevent.
But they were going down the field like it was nothing.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few people say it, but the thing was, it was you got to look at the situation at the point. It was getting close to the half. They weren't trying to give up touchdown, and he threw 3 underneath passes.
He's 40 years old.
Yeah, but I mean, Carson could throw those underneath passes too at that point.
But he doesn't. Because he's pressing. You could tell.
Yeah, but I think the situation there was you were at the end of the half. You'd have to show me him playing the third quarter, then Carson playing the third quarter or the fourth quarter. I mean, at that point it was one series, and I don't think he played better. I thought Carson came out and he gave us the lead. 2 minutes to go, they give it up. He gets back on the field, he throws in a perfect pass for a game-winning touchdown, and the guy dropped it. I can't let that go.
Well, it was a really, really bad team. A really, really bad.
It was a bad team. It was. It was a very bad team.
Win. It's a travesty. It's an absolute travesty. And I understand your love for Carson Wentz. I want to love the guy too. He's a Philadelphia Eagle. I'll support him. But the thing is he doesn't take the simple plays. When you say you want him to run out, I want him to run out as well. But if he were to stay in the pocket and nothing is open, either throw the ball away or run. And he doesn't do it.
But the thing is last year he got caught. Like, remember the Carolina game where he was leading us down the field for a game winner, and he doesn't hit Smallwood underneath, which was bad on his part. And people were saying he can't come in clutch, he can't be clutch, he can't be clutch. I think he's shown time and time again in clutch situations
I don't think
he's clutch. I do.
Clutch
I think he's been clutch all year.
I think he's the complete
I think last week against Chicago, that was clutch. To run the clock out, to convert on those third downs, Alshon Jeffrey goes out of the game.
Yeah.
That was clutch. I mean, the Buffalo, same thing. The Atlanta Falcon game, he was clutch. Should have had a game winner. What about the Detroit game where they're finally coming back and Alshon Jeffrey runs out of bounds? That doesn't go for a touchdown. Now it's 3 points.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any receivers make the play for this guy. I mean, I watch every week guys making diving plays here, doing stuff for the quarterback. Our guys don't do shit. They don't do shit.
Yeah.
I can't blame you. Wait, I will agree with you when the Eagles put legitimate talent around him and then he starts screwing up. At that point, I'll say you're right.
It's just some of the throws that he makes when he's lined up perfectly, like in shotgun. Some of the throws to, let's just say, the left side of out of bounds, some of the throws that he makes, like the slants, he just overthrows it. I'll give you an example. All right. Nelson Aguilar was running to the left side of the field. It was like a curl route. And he was wide open. Nelson Aguilar is like, give me the ball. He throws it way over his head. And I don't know what it is. Like, and someone asked in the comment section, how is he not clutch? And I'll get onto that right now. But when you throw it way over someone's head consistently, and he's done it consistently this year, I'll go back and look at some film and show you later when we're off.
Show me, yeah, we'll see.
All right. He throws it wide open. It's like he puts too much effort into his ball when it used to be resilient in 2017, and it's like he didn't have to do any work. He puts too much effort into his pass.
Well, how much space does the receiver have when he's throwing it? Because a lot of times there's no.
It was wide open. Why does he?
Nelson Aguilar wide open.
It was wide open on this one play. I'll show you later. Listen, I will show you later. He was wide open on this one play, and he throws it like 50.
Maybe he wanted him to go up and get it to take a shot.
I don't like criticizing Carson Wentz, but somebody has to do it, and I know.
I personally think it's unfair, Chris. Like, I think you're way too hard on him.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think you're way too hard on him. But I mean, I respect your opinion, obviously. But I just think that dude, I had people literally trash the guy during the Dallas game on the second play where Goddard fumbles. People were blaming Carson Wentz. What can the guy do? I mean, you're other people fumble. I mean, last week we had 3 third down conversions dropped, wide open, perfect passes dropped. Even the Aguilar down the field, I don't know how he can't see the ball. You remember the movie Major League?
Yeah.
Remember Wild saying he couldn't hit the strike zone till he put the glasses on?
Yeah.
I think that's what Nelson Aguilar's problem is. I think he needs glasses. Because he's got no depth perception. The ball was right there. I mean, these guys, what if Alshon doesn't drop those third down conversions? How do we know 2 of them don't go for touchdowns?
Yeah. What if he doesn't drop the pass in New Orleans? I think we go to the Super Bowl again.
I mean, but a lot of these things kill your momentum. I mean, I could think of 4 touchdowns this year that were taken off the table and it had nothing to do. It was not Carson's fault at all.
Chris Wild says, "Look at the last drive against Chicago, clutch."
Well, that was clutch.
Well, we were up 19-0, and we gave the lead. We almost gave the lead back.
But that's not Carson's fault.
To fucking Mitch Trubisky.
But that's not Carson's fault.
Okay.
He ain't on the secondary. He went down an 8-minute drive, dude. Alshon goes out hurt. He has the most trash of all trash receivers ever invented.
They're not, though. All right,
and he converts.
How are they the most trash of trash wide receivers?
I've never seen. Take Alshon out of it. I've never seen a worse. Well, I'm talking about receivers.
He's a receiver. Zach Ertz
is a tight end.
No, he's a receiver. Zach
Ertz. They put their best corner. Yeah. Where is Matt Collins? Where is Nelson Aguilar? Yeah. If you're not even attempting throws them because they stank so bad, and they can't get open, then it really, I mean, if you're a defense, you're going to cover, you're going to put your best corner on Ertz, you're going to watch Goddard, and you're going to watch Alshon.
Yeah.
Then pretty much everybody else you just leave alone. It's like they're playing with an advantage on defense against our offense.
All right, but if nothing's working on the offensive side of the ball when it comes to wide receivers, where is Miles Sanders going out for the pass? You know?
Yeah, well, and they need to do that more. I was calling the whole game. Run a wheel route. Run another wheel route to Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
It was there. They didn't. And some of that is on Grow and Doug and stuff like that. And look, and I'm not saying Carson's perfect all the time. He's not. He makes mistakes.
And
but,
this,
I mean,
and this is another beef I'm gonna have with some of these people in the comment section. This guy literally just told me just moved to Jacksonville. Foles is gone. Do you know what year I joined YouTube? I joined YouTube during the Dream Team year, the 2011 year. I endured so many sucky seasons as a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So many. All right. Here on YouTube, I made videos week after week after week of this trash franchise for years. All right. Made videos. All right. And once a QB like Nick Foles, all right, legend in the city, I might mind you, finally gets us over the hill when nobody else can do it. Ron Jaworski couldn't do it. Donovan McNabb couldn't do it. Randall Cunningham couldn't do it. Michael Vick couldn't do it.
Audio out.
These guys. Sorry. These guys couldn't do it. All right. Nick Foles finally steps up after everybody said that this season was over. Everyone in 2017 said that this season was over. I believed in Nick Foles because he was our franchise quarterback before he got injured and Mark Sanchez came in and ruined our season. All right. This guy finally got us over the hump as a backup quarterback against the best quarterback of all time. All right. The best. Everyone counted us out. This guy goes in and wins it. And now everyone is saying to me, move to Jacksonville. And everyone's saying, who cares about Nick Foles? Get the fuck out of here. You guys are not real Eagles fans. And if you say you are, you're fucking lying. I hope Carson Wentz wins. I do. As an Eagles fan, I hope Carson Wentz wins. But I personally, this might hurt a lot of people's feelings, I don't think he's good enough. I really don't. He hasn't proven anything to me to say that he's good enough to where he was in 2017. And I lost Philly.500 for a second. He'll be back. But there's nothing that tells me that Carson Wentz is good enough right now to lead this ship and win us the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. There's nothing. And I'm going to read some comments in the comment section as he comes back. And I'm sorry if I hurt people's feelings, but it's the truth. I don't think he's good enough. He has to show to me that he'll go back to his 2017 self. I just don't believe in him. I don't. I'm sorry. As a Philadelphia Eagles fan that's been here since 2011, I don't believe in him. He'll be back eventually. Wait. I'll add him right now. All right, he's back.
I missed the rant. Well, I missed the whole damn rant. I couldn't hear it. All right. Well, I heard the end of it. You said you don't believe Carson's. I believe Carson. All right.
I'll do a little rundown because you didn't hear the whole rant. Okay. Basically, I went on like a 2-minute rant there because I felt justified because I'm sick of people saying to move to Jacksonville and support Nick Foles. I am one of the biggest Philadelphia Eagles fans. I've been here during the suckiest years. The suckiest years here on YouTube. I didn't miss a hate week. I didn't miss a week where I had to put up a video. I've been here since some of the worst times. When a player, it could have been any quarterback. When a player finally gets us over the hill against the best QB of all time in Tom Brady, I am going to worship that player. Because I'm a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan, and I cried. I cried like a baby that night. And for people to say to move to Jacksonville, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. All right? And Carson Wentz, to me, sometimes I hate to say it. I'm not going to lie. But when he loses, I don't say I put a smile on my face, but it's like in the back of my mind, I'm like, wow, these guys really killed this guy. Like, they really killed his mindset, and he is not the same quarterback that he used to be. He doesn't show me any of that. I'm sorry, Philly.500. I don't believe in this guy right now. He has to prove to me that he can do it. He needs to take over games. He needs to get his balls back, and he needs to become that quarterback that he drafted. He needs to.
What did he do so bad that has hurt this team this year?
What has he done? What
do you mean, what has he done? Dude, the only reason you've been in any of these games has been mostly
that's not true.
It is true.
That's not true.
Redskin game, he comes back. Atlanta game, you're down. He comes back, gives you the lead.
It's Atlanta.
Then he throws but it's an NFL team. Detroit He puts Arcega-Whiteside. He gives them a shot. I mean, dude, I don't know what this guy can do. Is he having as good of a season as he did 2017? No, but he's still a very good quarterback. I still think he's an elite quarterback. The problem is that everything around him is trash.
But this is what I always say. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, they have trash talent around them yearly.
Okay, but you're talking about... He
makes them better.
But now you're talking about Hall of Fame quarterbacks. He's not there
Carson Wentz is elite, and listen, you're my boy.
Yeah.
You are my boy, all right? But
yeah.
Elite is such a big word to me.
Huge word. My view of elite is current crop of quarterbacks at the top of their game.
Right.
That is not Hall of Fame. A Hall of Famer is a level above that.
But look, all of the QBs in the NFL that I consider elite right now are Hall of Famers. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees. They're all elite. They're in that elite category. They're all Hall of Famers.
Okay.
All right? Carson Wentz, I know you want to see him succeed so much. And listen, he has had some good games. But if you look at the stats, if you run down the stats don't correlate with his play on the field. They just don't. All right? The eye test does not pass.
The eye test the eye test is, to me, I'm going weekend. You go back and look at my streams. I'm like, dude, the only guy doing anything out here is Carson Wentz.
He's not, though.
Where's everybody else?
The running game. Jordan Howard has been a stud the whole year.
Well, the running game has been good. I'm talking about specifically the passing.
I feel like the wins have came from the running game. I really have.
A lot of it has. Yeah, a lot of it has.
Yeah.
But the Eagles also, Carson got robbed off a couple, Monday Night Football comeback. Next week against Detroit, comeback. They stole those games from him. And then people blame him after I had people tell me he didn't throw it hard enough to Nelson Aguilar. I mean, it gets ridiculous, dude. Look, he's 26 years old. He's not perfect yet. I think he's on his way. I think he's going to, when it's all said and done, I believe that kid's going to win us 2 or 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But my thing is when I look up to 2017, dude, that offense, that passing was so much better than it is now. And it's not because of Carson, it's because what we have on the field.
Yeah.
It's trash.
Yeah.
So my point is I'm not gonna knock the guy because he's got nothing to throw to.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, I just mentioned all the years I've suffered. That comment did piss me off because I've seen it a lot, and I had to rant over it, and I apologize to some people out there, and I don't apologize to some people, but whatever.
Right.
I had to rant about that because I've endured some of the worst losses here on YouTube. I've endured some of the worst years here on YouTube, and yes, I'm gonna worship Nick Foles for as long as I live and he lives because he's a legend in this town. He has a statue outside the link. Literally a statue. Yeah. All right. And I'm happy he got his job back from Gardner Minshew because he deserved it. It was his job to lose from the start. Fuck that Uncle Rico looking motherfucker. I don't give a shit about him. All right. Who cares about Gardner Minshew? He's a 6th-round pick.
I am not a Nick Foles hater. I like Nick Foles. I like Nick Foles a lot. I mean, how can I not? And I'm not saying you, but there are people who literally wait till Carson overthrows somebody, and then I have to hear it 1,000 times. Should have kept Nick Foles. And it grates on me, dude. Just like you get graded with the Jacksonville, and it's always going to be that way until Carson goes and wins the Super Bowl. That's the way it's going to be. It just is, and I accept that. But I think that we got a good quarterback. I do think they got to change the offense. I do think they got to build more around him and fit his style more. That I agree with you on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
But I love you, even though we disagree with this quarterback.
We do.
But I love you.
And everyone says, "Oh, I hate Carson Wentz." And I see this one comment in the comment section saying Nick Foles is overrated. He isn't anything special. Carson Wentz is better. I never said Nick Foles was better than Carson Wentz. I said Nick Foles was the guy that finally won us the Super Bowl. That's why I worship him. And I want him to do great things in Jacksonville, even though I'm a huge Eagles fan. I want to see him succeed. And he's in the AFC, so that helps me with with my mind to where I want him to succeed, because we're not going to go against him unless we get to the Super Bowl, and then I have to root against them. But I don't think we're getting to the Super Bowl because we're not good enough.
Not right now, we're not. I mean, look, I think we could win a division. I think we could even win a home playoff game. But how do you go and beat New Orleans? I can't see it.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
No, you're not going to. You're not going to beat 49ers. You're not going to beat the Saints. You're not even going to beat Seattle at this point. We're not good enough.
Right.
We're not. We beat Green Bay because Devontae Adams got hurt. That's the only reason why we beat Green Bay. He was shredding us that game. People don't understand this. Oh, we beat Green Bay. That's one of their only losses. If you look at the game, we would have lost if he was playing because nobody can cover him. Nobody could cover him the whole game.
No, that's a problem. And Carson can't cover him either.
Yeah.
Just, because if he would have lost the game, it would have been Carson Wentz's fault. He didn't throw 200 yards. So, I mean, it's going to be tough. What's the latest on AB? I know there was something going on. I didn't catch what was going on.
Well, the thing about AB was earlier in the day, he said that the NFL hates black people and he's never playing for the NFL again. And then just 2 hours ago, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just frustrated. I'm ready for my NFL return." It's like, I love you, AB. Please get off Twitter. Like, you are killing yourself, man. Like, and I want the Eagles to sign him, but my buddy says even if we do sign him, he's going to be on the exempt list. That could be true. So I just don't know what's happening.
What I heard that he's supposed to meet the commissioner next week or next Thursday. So from what I've read and heard people say about the exempt list is he may go sign and go on it temporarily, but there's no criminal investigation. There's no sexual lawsuit anymore. It's over with. There's no police investigation. I don't know where the NFL can go. You know what I mean? And so, I think he comes back. It may take a couple weeks, but if I'm the Eagles, I would just sign him anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe you get him back. It's
low risk, high reward. There has to be something else to this whole Antonio Brown case. Like if the Pats are getting rid of him, like when do the Pats get rid of anybody that's talented? And they just signed him.
Well, that had to do with the sexual allegations, and he had texted the woman and all those things. But that's all resolved now. So, I mean, a lot of Patriot fans think he's coming back later in the year. They believe that he's coming back.
He could.
And I find it interesting that Brady didn't want him to go. Belichick didn't want him to go. Russell Wilson apparently was trying to talk to Seahawks to get him. So he can't be that bad of a guy or a teammate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think Belichick was actually fed up with all the questions, so I feel like he kind of had a say in getting rid of Antonio Brown,
right?
And then he made fun of Robert Kraft, which is a big no. He said like he was jerking off in a pub or something like. What was it, a sauna or something?
Right,
with some Asian chick or whatever. But yeah, it was just I don't know. He made fun of him, so he's not going back to the Patriots.
No.
They got rid of Gordon too, so
I know. And this is what concerns me with the Eagles, or like when you could get Josh Gordon, you choose not to get him, you choose not to make any trades. I really think that the Eagles are saying we gotta fix this whole thing in the end of the year. We're not gonna give a bunch of assets up for it. You know what I mean, just let it happen. What happened? I mean, that's what I think they're saying.
I'm shocked we didn't go after Josh Gordon. We had him fall right in our laps, and we let Seattle get him along with DK Metcalf. Don't tell me that's going to be hard to cover.
And DK Metcalf is tearing it up, dude.
Yeah, and I wanted him.
I did too. I thought we were like, I was streaming that live. I was like, the Eagles are going to get a receiver. I'm like, they're going to take DK Metcalf. He's sitting right here. This is beautiful, and they did. And I hope that the Eagles revamp their receiver core this offseason. I really do.
Yeah, and I see a lot of Des Bryant to the Eagles in the comment section. A Cowboys fan said, "You heard it here first. Des Bryant to the Eagles." I mean, I'd take a waiver on him. I would definitely try to bring him in, but at the same time, my friend said he's like fat right now, so it's kind of tough to put in an offense. But then again, a ton of our wide receivers have cement shoes on, so maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea.
At this point, I think it's worth a look. I mean, I'm willing to bring anybody in. I still think they need a speedier guy, but at this point, anybody, I'll bring in anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what are
We
you
have
going
the
to do?
Pats in less than 2 weeks. This is starting to shape up bad.
Well, yeah, because they lost. You wanted them to win that game against Baltimore.
Yeah.
And then they they're undefeated. Now they're coming in and now Deshaun Jackson. I mean, that whole Deshaun Jackson thing too. The way they handled that was horrendous.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy comes one series and he's out for the year. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Now, how do you think that Pats game is going to play out? Because I had someone in the comment section saying, how do we feel about this game? I personally feel like it's going to pan out like maybe a 41-21 game for the Patriots. I think it's going to get really ugly. And I mean, I have an opportunity to go to this game for free. I might just stream it with Darius because I don't know if I want to be in the cold watching that shit. Like, I really don't.
I think we're going to win.
You think we're going to win?
I do. I think that, like, I think we're gonna split. I just got this weird feeling like we're gonna beat New England and we're gonna lose to Seattle.
All right.
I would rather it the other way, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I just got this weird feeling, and I don't have any reasons. It's just a weird thing. Like, for some reason, maybe it's that we've beaten them the last couple times we've played them.
Yeah.
But I just got this weird feeling, dude. It's going to be a close game. And we're going to pull it out. It's just a weird feeling.
I hope you're right. I mean, the Pats, Tom Brady has never lost in Philadelphia. They're coming off of a bye week, as we are.
Yep.
They lost to Baltimore, one of their AFC rivals. And Bill Belichick wants to avenge that Super Bowl loss, as does Tom Brady. So
I know. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying it makes sense. It's just a gut feeling. Now, it's early. I could change my opinion in a week, but right now I just got this weird feeling.
Yeah. Now I will say something. If the Eagles do somehow, some way make the playoffs, and Paul Toy in the comment section says realistically the season is done for the Eagles because Jackson being out matters.
Yeah, it does.
If Jackson coming back for the playoffs, all right,
can he come back?
Yeah, he can. If the offense is the way it was week 1 against Washington with Jackson in there, it looked a lot better. I'm not gonna complain about that. Yeah, I mean, it could potentially give us a spark, but that's if he comes back. We got to make the playoffs.
I mean, I don't expect him to come back. I think that the Eagles. I don't think Dallas is that good. Okay,
really?
I don't think they're that good. I think they're beatable.
Okay.
But the Eagles. Let's say they could pull their division out. And let's say they get a home playoff game. I think they could win one home playoff game. But to me, you're going to have a problem when you play teams that can score and teams that can go vertical, like New Orleans. Like how are you going to beat them? Even Green Bay again scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Those are the teams that I don't know. That's why I want a receiver, because I think you have to be able to keep up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely one of those things to where, you, me and Darius will be back at it next week and we'll be doing the preview for it. But it's definitely one of these games where if it labeled as a loss right off the bat, we won the last 2 against the Pats, the regular season and the Super Bowl. The regular season one was in 2015. Sam Bradford was the quarterback. And then we won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. And I don't know if we win 3 straight against the Pats. I don't, because history says that the Pats don't usually lose 3 straight against the same team.
No, I know. Like I said, I can't defend it's just a gut feeling, dude. I'm just basing it on feeling.
You just want it to happen.
Well, I do. I just have this feeling like, I don't know, like the Patriots offense doesn't score a ton of points. They're not super, super explosive.
No, it's just
and when you have good defenses, we've done good against teams with decent defenses, not explosive offense. So I just got this weird feeling. But like I said, I mean, that's 2 weeks away. So I'm next week at this time, I may feel totally different.
Yeah, it might. And like I said, I would rather win the Seattle game because the Seattle game matters towards the playoff seed in the NFC, and it matters towards the record in the NFC. So, yeah,
I agree.
Big. And another thing I want to touch on, we have about 10 minutes left, but one more thing I really want to touch on is the defensive line. In the comment section, Chris Wild says defensive line's starting to look good. And I agree with that. The pressure's starting to get there. And if the pressure gets there, it'll definitely help out the secondary a lot. And as I said 2 weeks ago, I feel like Ronald Darby is going to be the player in the second half who has a comeback half for the year.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to play a lot better. And if the pressure gets to the quarterback, it's going to help him out a lot more because he doesn't have to do as much. So
yeah, I agree. I agree. And look, they're starting to get healthy in secondary too. If you get Darby back, right? Darby was not healthy coming back because he came back from that torn ACL too early.
yeah,
And you get Mills, who I think is okay. And of course, he gives up big plays, and then you get Avonte Maddox and you get Cravion LeBlanc back. All of a sudden, dude, I mean, they're not so bad, especially if Fletcher Cox is playing well. And he looks like he's starting to come on, and that's helping. Brandon Graham, I think, is having a career year. And then this kid Avery, I mean, I want to see more of him.
Jannard Avery.
Yeah. So I think the defense, I think they could be okay. I think they could be okay.
You know what's funny about Jannard Avery? Cleveland Browns haven't played him all year this year because apparently he got hurt in the offseason and he didn't fit the scheme. He comes in his first game and records a sack.
I know, and I remember watching him last year and going, I don't know who that kid is, but I like him, and I didn't think much of it, but he's very fast off the line. And somebody said he looked like Trent Cole. He did look like Trent Cole to me out there the other day, with the 58, but
that guy's gonna be a stud. I truly believe that, and I think we gave up like a fourth compensatory.
Something like that.
Yeah,
and we cut Sendejo, so we got that compensatory back. I'm so happy about that. And we picked up a kid I think we picked up a rookie safety from Minnesota off of waivers. Yeah. I don't know much about the kid though.
We have to stay away from Minnesota.
Yeah,
big time.
Minnesota, that's not a good matchup. Not with them receivers.
Yeah, not at all. And I mean, it's just like I want this team to turn around. But personally, I'm a Debbie Downer this year. I just don't see anything that makes me think that this team will make a run. I go to the games, I watch them up close and personal. I sit out in the fucking cold. Mm-hmm. I just don't see anything with the coaching staff, and I'm praying that Mike Groh gets fired because I hate Mike Groh. It's just one of those things to where I just don't see any hope for this team. But I do think they could win the division because the Cowboys, like you said, they lost to the Jets. Are they really that good? I don't think so.
Yeah.
And, Jason Garrett looks to be on his way out. So,
well, here's what I'll say, though. If they do win a division, right, and let's say they get a home playoff game. Let's say they win the home playoff game. They're in a situation they got to go to Green Bay or New Orleans, somewhere like that. At least you've got a team that has a coach with Super Bowl experience, a team with Super Bowl experience, playoff experience. And you never know, man. You got at least a punch or shot to go in there, and I'll take it. Because after this year, I wouldn't be surprised if we take a step back because I think we're going to get a lot younger. Yeah. And I think it may take a guys a year or two to develop.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have Carson Wentz as your franchise quarterback, you just paid him all that money. Do you really want to get younger around him?
You got to do it now. You got to do it now. He's 26. He'll be 27. You got to do it now because otherwise – I mean, look, you're too old in too many places. You got to do it. You got 32-year-old Deshaun. You got 30-year-old Alshon, and then you got Aguilar's going to go. I think you have to get younger and do it while he's still in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. I mean, I don't know. It's tough for me because getting younger for Carson Wentz means you're going to have to start all over, and you're going to have to teach it. You're going to have to coach up these young guys. Jason Kelce shouldn't have even came back because he felt like he was retired and his foot was halfway out the door already.
Yeah.
And
no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're going to just burn the whole thing down and rebuild it. I think you can do it slowly. You kind of mix it in like over a course of 2 years. You keep some of the vets, but you let some of them go, and then you bring in some young guys in their place. Stuff like that. But I think that's what you have to do. I don't want to do it when Carson's 32 years old. Yeah. I want to do it while he's young so he can grow in with some of these receivers and young kids.
Right.
Yeah, but I think they need to get younger.
Well, all right. So I don't really like to bring up the draft right now, but if you were to pick a positioned player in the draft, who would you pick right now? Like what position?
Receiver.
Receiver?
Speed wide receiver. Okay. Yeah, speed wide receiver I would say that's to me the biggest need because with Deshaun Jackson's injury and his age, we don't know if he's going to be healthy next year. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people wanted Hollywood Brown this year, including myself. I wanted Marquise, and I wanted DK Metcalf, and we ended up with Mo and Larry. So,
I know, I know. I mean, DK Metcalf was on the board. Paris Campbell was on the board, and if we would have snagged DK Metcalf, you would have had Dillard, Sanders, and Metcalf all playing reps right now. It would have been great.
what's your opinion on Dillard? Because I kind of like what I saw so far, but there were talks when Jason Peters is pretty much ready to go. He's going to assume his role back.
I
So,
I like Dillard a lot. I
yeah.
like his. I think he showed that he could play, and I don't understand why you would give Peters back the starting role at this point. I would not do that.
See, but that's the thing. Like, I love the fact that Dillard's getting his repetitions and he's getting his time to work with the first team offense. But at the same time, it's an unpopular opinion, but I still think that Jason Peters is the better option. Jason Peters, he's the bodyguard. He has years and years of experience. He's worked with Carson Wentz before. He knows the offense. He played in the Super Bowl. Well, he didn't play in the Super Bowl, actually. It was Halipuli Valley Vaitai. But Jason Peters has the experience,
Does yeah.
So I feel like he'd be the better option over a rookie.
I mean, maybe he would. I mean, he does have the experience. I don't think that even if he's still better than that kid, I don't think it's that big of a difference now with Jason Peters' age and the fact that he's always hurt like every other play. I think I would just stick with this kid, man, and let him play. That's me personally.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows what will happen? It's kind of 50-50 right now, I think. Some people want to keep Dillard in there. Some people want to have Jason Peters for one last run. And for the love of God, can we stop using Darren Sproles in the backfield? All right?
Yeah.
I don't even know why they brought him back.
No, he's too slow. He can't even do punt returns. Everything's a fair catch. He just doesn't have it. I love Sproles, great career, but it's one too many years, dude.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah, Darren Sproles, like Doug's in love with him. Doug loves Darren Sproles.
Yeah,
like, he literally used him as a feature back at times.
I know. Well, look, Sproles, I don't think he's been the same for 2 or 3 years. I thought in 2017 he looked like before his injury, like he was slowing up big time.
Right.
And then last year, he was hurt all year, and he's back this year, and then he gets hurt again. I just think Sproles. I love Sproles, love everything he did, but it's time to let him go. Right. I would like to see Boston Scott get more reps.
And someone in the comment section just said that. Paul Toy said, keep Dillard in, and Scott should be in.
See, Paul Toy, shout out to Paul Toy. That guy's a smart guy.
Yeah, he's on a roll tonight.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
he always comments. Great guy. But yeah, I would like to see more Boston Scott. I'm very I gotta tell you, I'm very impressed with Miles Sanders. I think that he was jumping out a lot, outside, trying to run everything outside. I think the last few weeks he's starting to hit that hole, man, and you can see his explosiveness. I love the kid.
It did. It pissed me off with Miles Sanders like 2 weeks ago. There was a hole the size of the Grand Canyon wide open, and he jumped the other way.
Yeah. I know he did that. It was doing that early. I think it's gotten better, and I think that once he figures that out, he's going to be fine. He's going to be stud.
Kevin Cronin, I gave you a wrench, buddy. And I'll be doing the Sixers game tomorrow against the Nuggets. The Sixers are looking, they're on a slump right now. They can't win 3 games. Ben Simmons is out. You're going to miss his defense, obviously, but it's definitely a game where they can win, but the Nuggets are tough. But I'll be doing the live stream tomorrow. And
I'm gonna start streaming some Sixers probably next week probably next week. This week is too tough for me, but I am watching all the games. So
hey, you should join me sometime, man. I do every single game. We'll
definitely do it. We'll definitely do it.
Yeah, they're fun to watch. I love that Neto guy. I like the backup point guard. Yeah. I like Neto a lot.
I like Neto too. I like Neto. I like this team, man. I was a big Jimmy Butler guy.
Yeah.
So part of me does miss him, but look, that Korkmaz looks like, man, he got some confidence off that.
Looks better
because he's starting to hit his shots now, man. I like it. They're going to be fun to watch all year. No doubt about it.
Yeah, they definitely will be. But we do need at least 1 or 2 more shooters.
We need a shooter.
Yeah, Tobias Harris. We thought he was our savior, but he's not looking too hot. So
yeah.
We definitely need some more shooters.
But I still want to see. I'm curious to see where Korkmaz, how he develops, because I'm telling you, all of a sudden after that game where like he looks like completely different player to me,
Yep.
So
we'll see what happens.
It's gonna be fun. Sixers, baby.
Hey, but with that being said, we're gonna wrap this up. We're hitting the hour. If you liked what you saw, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Subscribe to Philly.500. He's the best. I know everyone in here is probably subscribed to Philly.500. The guy is just growing fast. One of the best Eagles video makers on YouTube by far, and I love the fact that he comes and joins me and Darius every single week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. You deserve every single sub you get because you know your shit, number one. Number two, you're very energetic. And number three, you're funny. So, yeah, definitely. Every single week, it's a blessing having you on this channel. And,
I appreciate it. And I look forward. We'll definitely do some Sixers games, dude. That would be fun.
Yeah, it'll be great. Sixers streams are they're catching some fire. I had a lot of Suns fans in the chat the other day, and it was shocking to me. Apparently, there's a huge Suns fan base.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. But it's fun. It's going to be a fun basketball year.
It will be. But with that being said, everybody, this was such a great stream. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with Darius next week, probably around Thursday or Tuesday, one of those days. Probably more likely Thursday because I have another podcast with Scotty on Tuesdays. But we'll be back next week. So thanks for tuning in. Fly Eagles Fly. I'm out. You have anything else to say, Philly?
Thanks for having me on, and have a great night, man.
All right. See you guys
later.
Go
Wentz, baby. Go Wentz.
Oh, God. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. All right.
Peace.
All right. See you guys later.